episode of the Fast Times with Cyro podcast starts, please, and I beg you, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, maybe leave a comment about how your day was, what you think of this content, or anything along those lines. It'd be greatly appreciated. Please join the nation of me, Poon Nation, I guess, because it's on my YouTube channel. Or if you're on Spotify, follow, Apple Podcasts, follow. Just let's grow this and let's be a part of something special. Let's hop in it. All right, we're back here with episode 22 of the Fast Time Podcast. I actually have some things written on my laptop, so we're going to go there. You're like, you wearing headphones? I'm like, yeah, I'm wearing fucking headphones. I don't actually ever wear headphones when I record this. But I was like, maybe we should today. So that's what we're doing. Getting my MacBook up. There we go. Just want to make sure everything's recording fine. All right, I've had an interesting week. Couple last days. You know, just life, living it up. So, I got research about this. XFL is happening this week. What is it on? Today's the 6th, so tomorrow's the 7th, and Saturday's the 8th. So, on the 8th, the team launches. So, Landry Jones is the face of the XFL right now, they're saying. That's what ESPN wrote. Connor Cook reportedly lost the QB competition for the XFL Roughnecks, which I don't even think Connor Cook's that good because, he got drafted in the 4th round and he's not even in the league 2 years later. I really do think the best teams are going to be the St. Louis Battlehawks, and I really think the DC Defenders are going to be nice. They have Pep Hamilton as the coach, and it's going to be really interesting. Like, I'm trying to see the schedule of the XFL, what we got this weekend. I think it's week 1. It's going to be Guardians versus Defenders, so New York versus DC. I think DC wins that game. The LA Vipers versus Seattle Dragons. It's the LA Wildcats. Who are the Vipers? The Vipers are some team. I don't even know. But the Vipers versus the Seattle Dragons. I think the Dragons are going to win that. Renegades versus the Wildcats. I think the Renegades are going to win that. And the Blackhawks are going to beat the Roughnecks. Oh, dude, I just looked at week 2 schedule. I'm so fucking stupid. So Dragons at the Defenders is week 1. Okay, I'm stupid. Dragons at Defenders. Defenders win that. Wildcats at the Roughnecks. I think Roughnecks win that. Vipers at the Guardians. New York Guardians win that. And Battlehawks at the Renegades. I think the Battlehawk win that. I really like Cardell Jones on the Defenders. I like Marquette King on the Battlehawks. So that's why I really chose the Battlehawks for that one. Doesn't seem like much, but really that's really my reasoning and main and only reasoning. But who else? There's a couple guys. Landry Jones is on the Renegades. So, it's really take it with how you want. I think it's interesting. So the Vipers, what team? Tampa Bay Vipers. That's what it was. They were from Tampa Bay. So I'm really pissed that Johnny Manziel isn't there. But the first player signed was quarterback Landry Jones, who played for Steelers, Jags, and Raiders. He would have been a first or second round pick if he didn't go for his senior year. But the other guys, I'm a really big fan of Matt McGloin. I love Matt McGloin. He played in the NFL for a little bit for the Raiders. He literally wrote a letter to every NFL team just to get a tryout and ended up on the Raiders. Great story. And he ended up playing their only playoff game since, when Jack Del Rio was there. It was before John Gruden came back. So, Cardell, Matt McGloin. I think Josh Johnson's honestly a good quarterback in the sense that, look, to be a good quarterback, you got to be in the NFL. And this guy continues to be coming back into the NFL. So, I think he's a decent backup. I don't even know. I don't know how it works. So, that's how I see it. So the big differences in the NFL and the XFL, if you didn't know, was the kickoffs have a whole subset of rules, including rewarding a receiving team for taking the ball in the end zone and downing it. This is considered a major touchback and gives the receiving team a 35-yard line start position. The entire PAT system has been overhauled, allowing teams to get 1, 2, or 3 points, depending on how many yards. I think it's 1's the basic 2 yards, the 2 points, 5 or 10 yards, and the 3 points, I think it's 15 yards. It's great. And the rule also allows for a double forward pass, assuming the ball doesn't pass the line of scrimmage on the first pass, which is a great. So at 2 p.m., we got the Defenders versus Dragons. I'll definitely be watching that game on Saturday. Hopefully, I get to catch all these games so I can watch them. But I really think the best teams are going to come down to the DC Defenders or the St. Louis Battlehawks. If we're going to choose like two guys, that's who I'm going to choose. So now I'm reading into this Connor Cook. He allegedly lost the job. He's the 4th-round pick for the Raiders in 2016. He lost the job to Philip Walker. I like Philip Walker. Walker played for Temple. He was on the practice squad after going undrafted. He played for Matt Rule at Temple. We'll have a crack to put up scouting numbers in longtime June Jones, who's the coach for the Houston Roughnecks. So I think that's a good job. As Cook was cut for Dave Fowles, and he's the all-time leader in touchdown passes and wins at Michigan State, but he only appeared 2 games in 3 years. So that's just something that happens. So Connor Cook is the only quarterback to make his first career start in the playoff game. Went 18 of 45 for 161 yards and a touchdown, 3 interceptions against the Texans. Lost 2017-14. It's not that. Could have been worse. NBA trade deadline is upon us. I love how that's how we segued into that. That's how we just segued into that. So I'm over here. All right, so Memphis and Miami are still trying to figure out the Daniel Gallinari. I'm over here on, let me go to Reddit, NBA trade deadline Reddit. This is the mega thread that I wanted. Yes. All right, so far on the trades we got since this week. Well, I don't know if you guys want to. Dude, these are all from last year. I'm looking at this and I'm damn, I've seen this. NBA Reddit discuss. I'm fucking. Am I saying this right? Yeah. Atlanta receives Clint Capella. Houston received Robert Covington, Jordan Bell, and Golden State Warriors 2nd-round pick. Minnesota received Jared Vanderbilt, Evan Turner, Malik Beasley, Juancho, Hernan Gomez. Juancho Hernan Gomez. I don't know why I fucked that up so hard. The Brooklyn Nets 2020 first-round pick. And Denver's received Keitha Bates Diop, Noah Vonleh, Shabazz Napier, Gerald Green, and the Houston first. Memphis and Miami's details are up in the air. It's Justin Winslow and Andre Iguodala straight up, but potentially Daniel Gallinari and other people are going to work around there. Atlanta and Sacramento traded. Atlanta receives Dwayne Dedman for 2 second-round picks, one in 2020 and one in 2021. Jabari Parker and Alex Len now on the Kings. The Philadelphia 76ers received Al Burke and Glenn Robinson III for what seems to be 3 second-round picks, one in 2020, one in 2021, and one in 2022. So let's just go break these down for each team. Atlanta receives Clint Capella, great rebounder, just good defensive guy, and they get a backup in Nene. Reason they did this trade was, I don't know if they're going to pay John Collins, and Clint Capella's on a really affordable deal, like $17, $18 million a year, and he's pretty good. All-around player, good at pick and roll, great fit for Trae Young automatically. Why did Houston do this team? I think Houston, they're not contenders, and they need something to make them contenders. And I think they're really gonna go with this small ball 5. That's really why I think Jordan Bell's in this. Jordan Bell is gonna learn from PJ Tucker, and they're gonna really put Jordan Bell and PJ Tucker. I think maybe get another smaller big man to run these small ball 5s. And Robert Covington is half the cost of Clint Capella and gives you more value defensively than Clint Capella, because you can find guys who can do Clint Capella for cheap in the free agency market because you can just do a center by committee, which is great. And Robert Covington is one of the best 3-and-D guys in the league right now on a very affordable contract that you won't find elsewhere. Why did Minnesota do this trade? They got that first-round pick, which I think is literally the biggest thing for them. Malik Beasley and Juancho Hernan Gomez are two good players. They fit in really well. Jared Vanderbilt fits well. Evan Turner's just an expiring contract that they just took on. Like, it makes sense. Denver really didn't give up much besides Malik Beasley and Juancho Hernan-Gomez to get a backup in Gerald Green, another backup in Shabazz Napier, a first-round pick, and Noah Vonleh, who could be a good reserve guy, and Keita Bates Diop, who could be something. But they just got a bunch of guys for pretty much giving up nothing. Justice Winslow, look, he doesn't fit with this team anymore, and really, he's not hitting his threes. He's a good defensive guy, but he needs the ball in his hand. Just doesn't fit with the culture Miami's developing. Andrew Iguodala's a great locker room presence and will make this team exponentially better than Justin Winslow would be. Also, Daniel Gallinari is supposedly getting traded there. They're still working that out. Even if they're unable to work that out, I think Justin Winslow and Iggy is the final trade right there. But if Daniel Gallinari, if he's in this, he is a great player. He's like the modern-day small forward, power forward you want. He's 6'10". I remember when he got traded from the Knicks to the Nuggets, and that was a huge deal. Coming back from multiple ACL injuries, he's great. He can hit the three ball. He can rebound. Not incredibly well, but, he's there. He's a body. And he's a great fit to be standing in the corner and catching threes and pulling up, because that's what you want to do. So, with that being said, Dwayne Dedmon, 2020 second-round pick and a 2020 first-round pick. The reason why they did this was to get a backup for Clint Capella, who's just as good. And Dwayne Dedmon's 95% sure was on Atlanta at one point, so he's just going back to a situation he's familiar with. Jabari Parker had value, so that's why they traded him. Alex Lynn. Jabari's probably just going to be put on this Kings team that's pretty much tanking. They've been awful. They're not tanking. They're just a really bad team, and I feel like they're just going to give Jabari a bunch of minutes, see what Jabari Parker can do, and see if he can maybe fulfill some of his potential that he's supposed to be. Like, really, injuries have robbed Jabari Parker of any great NBA career. I mean, he's not as good as Andrew Wiggins. Not saying that Andrew Wiggins is amazing. I do like Andrew Wiggins as a Minnesota Timberwolves fan, but Alex Lynn, they just had to get rid of the center because they weren't going to keep him. Dwayne Dedmon's more athletic. All in all, I think Sacramento got more value of Dedmon than Atlanta got out of Alex Lynn and Jabari Parker combined. Sixers get Alec Burke, who's a 37.5% three-shooter this season and averaging almost 17 points a game, while Glenn Robinson's averaging almost 13 points a game and is shooting at 40%. Just Golden State got a bunch of picks. Golden State knows they're not making the playoffs this year, even when if Clay comes back this season, and when Steph does come back, unless they shut him down for the whole year. They're going to take the pick and hopefully be good this next year. So right now they're saying in the Miami deal, Miami receives Iguodala, Crowder, and Hill. I'm guessing Solomon Hill, while Memphis receives Winslow and Waiters. So does that mean the Gallo deal is dead? So I have no idea. No idea if this is the Gallo deal is dead, because Jay Crowder and Solomon Hill might be going to the Heat, while Waiters and Winslow might be going as well, from what I just read. So let's go into see who could be getting traded. They are pursuing, so we already saw that Steve Mills got parted ways and is trying to get Toronto Raptors guy. That's not happening. I'm trying to see if there's anything else really interesting to report to you guys right now. There's nothing interesting right now. The Lakers have inquired about Dennis Schroeder, and the Suns were trying to get Luke Kennard, but they weren't able to because of agreements over a certain Suns first-round pick that would have been in the deal. They didn't agree on the protections. It looks like they want a hefty return for Dennis Schroeder, so it doesn't look like LA would do it huge. Landry Shamet has been off limits in the talks with Marcus Morris Sr. from the New York Knicks. Interesting. There's a lot of guy there. A lot of the guys that you would think get moved, they need an overwhelming offer allegedly. So yeah, let's go to NBA standings. Let's give you playoff predictions right before All-Star break. I think the East is pretty cemented. Besides, I don't think the Bulls are making the playoffs. I don't think the Pistons are making the playoffs or the Wizards. That's literally the 9th, 10th, and 11th seed. I really think the 8th seed is the Magic. And between the 8th seed and 9th seed, there's 3 wins difference and a 4-game loss difference. So with that being said, I think the Magic secure the 8th seed. Then it's the Nets. Like, unless the Nets or the Magic just fall apart and somehow the Bulls, Pistons, or Wizards just come together, then that's the only way. Because the rest of the Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Heat, Pacers, Sixers are all above 30 wins. And I think that from seeds 1 through 6 are all guaranteed. They might switch places on the seedings, but those are all guaranteed to get playoffs. The Nets and Magic, or unless these two teams fall apart, I don't see any of these 9, 10, 11 seeds jumping them. Lakers are the number 1. And this pretty much goes the same thing. So all the way to 1 through 7, 7 being the Mavericks, 6 being Thunder, 5 Jazz, 4 Rockets, 3 Nuggets, 2 Clippers, and 1 Lakers. Those are all guaranteed. They're all over 31 wins. Now, behind them is the Grizzlies and Trailblazers. I feel like those could be interchangeable, especially with the Spurs right behind them. I don't think the Spurs will make the playoffs this year. They're not good enough. The Grizzlies are a young and hungry team, so I wouldn't be surprised if they made it. But Trailblazers have Dame Dalla, Damian Lillard, and you can never cut out Damian Lillard if you're gonna be in the NBA and talk about the NBA because Damian Lillard's freaking monster. All right, NHL predictions tonight. I had a few bets tonight. If I go on my shit. All right. So tonight I did for the NHL. There's a couple, the New Jersey Devils versus the Philadelphia Flyers. I said over 6 on that game. They both teams put up a lot of goals, and they have been recently. The Kings versus Islanders. Most people are saying this game is going under. I really think this game is going to go over. I've bet the under on the Kings and on the Islanders specifically multiple times and have lost it. Obviously, I'm probably going to lose this over because I say that. But yeah, the Knights versus Florida Panthers, I put under 6. It's plus 105, same as the Kings versus New York Islanders, plus 105, both of those. And I did under 6 on that due to the fact that Panthers and Knights both, in their last 2 or 3 games, they haven't gone over 6. I think maybe the Kings went once over 6. They got 6, something like that. And I really do feel like this is just going to be a low-scoring game, hopefully. And then with that being said, I'll just pull up the other ones. I wanted to bet on the earlier games just so if I do win those, I can go back and use the money that I won to bet on the later games. The Penguins versus Lightning, I'd honestly do under 6.5. I honestly would do under 6.5 on that one. Red Wings versus Buffalo Sabres, I would do under 6 right there. The Ducks versus Canadiens, I would do over 5.5. I do see an over on that one. The Avalanche versus the Ottawa Senators. It's favored to the over 6.5, but I really feel like this is a game, even though it's under 6.5 plus 105. I would just take the under on that one. I'm probably going to be wrong, but the under on the Ottawa game does really intrigue me. The Canucks versus Wild, I'd go under on that game, under 6. St. Louis Blues versus Winnipeg Jets, I'd go over 6. The Hurricanes versus Coyotes, I'd go under. Coyotes are always an under team. I'd really go under on the Coyotes. The Predators versus the Flames, I'd go under 6.5 on that game. And San Jose Sharks versus Edmonton Oilers, I'd go over 6.5 on that game. 4-3. Don't tell me who you think I'm going to win. I just do over-unders in hockey. I'm not good. I usually do, if I do something besides over-under, it's usually a puck line, like a plus 1.5, because that's, like, reasonable. But besides that, nothing else. Those are the NHL predictions for so far this week. Yeah, we're like 20 minutes into this podcast. Good shit. All right, there's the coronavirus. Coronavirus was kind of fucking scary. And there was like a scare at my school. So, I mean, I should be fucking frightened. But with that being said, I wasn't. So, I'm actually pretty fucking stoked that nothing really happened off of that. All right, NFL draft prospect. Chase Young is supposedly better than both of the Bosa brothers. That's what Terry McLaurin, the wide receiver from Ohio State that is on the Redskins now, said. But nothing against the Bosas, but Chase Young might be better than both of them, which would be great. Would be a great thing to know about. Honestly, it'd be something freaking fantastic for that team. I really do think it'd be great for that team. Well, that's pretty much today's episode of the podcast. It was a little short one, 20 minutes. You know, we just bang these 20 minutes ones out. We're going to do this more often. Just eat my Adderall and just come in here and just do this like this. You know? Just works out better. I like it. Either way, guys, if you haven't already, if you guys have stuck around to the end of this podcast, please share it with your friends, family, anybody. You know, maybe screenshot it, put it on your social media or your stories. It'd be really cool. Once we keep growing, you know, do giveaways, shout outs. It'd be awesome. Make this a little Jewish boy's dream come true. That's about it, guys. Hope you guys do enjoy. As always, hope you guys have a great day because I know I will. Till